This is the Built Different podcast with Dwayne and William.
So, what happened today, William?
I had a very interesting client.
Interesting?
Yeah.
I heard an explicitive when it came to describing her.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
So I was at this house trying to get into the basement to inspect the water heater in the furnace for an insurance inspection, and I couldn't get the door open. And she was like, "Well, what'd you do?" I'm like, "Did you try opening it without unlatching the top latch?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." But then I unlatched it, and the handle is still not opening. She's like, "Well, you broke it."
You tried opening it, so you broke it.
Yeah, I'm like, "What do you mean? I don't force anything." And the top latch isn't what's broken; it's the handle that's not engaging the mechanism. And she was just like, "Well, these are special handles. They're from Europe."
Oh, they're special because they're from Europe. Well, I got special handles in my house. They're from China. Mine are more special because China's farther than Europe.
And it's like, I mean, a door handle is pretty simple no matter where it's from.
Yeah, well, they're pretty special. They don't freaking work.
And then I tried getting it open and couldn't because I don't force stuff.
Right.
And I guess when I walked away, she forced it.
And it worked.
And the latch fell out.
The latch fell. Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah. I remember I would say, don't say sorry. That implies guilt.
No, I never said sorry.
You were thinking it. You were thinking it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real fun kind of client. And they called you.
Yeah.
Didn't
And
expect it.
and I'm trying to help them renew their insurance.
Oh, yeah, right? Right? And so did you put it in the report?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not within the scope of the insurance inspection.
Okay. So she got one over on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, whatever. All right. Well, let's jump into our podcast. What was built different today, William? Yes. Yeah, we were talking about this. And so you want me to kind of break it down?
Yeah, break it down. And then we'll go one step farther with it.
Okay, so I see 4 steps there. 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't look like they're all the same height.
They weren't. That was another thing I mentioned.
So that's a safety concern, and that's not meeting the standards in the code. It also looks like, I mean, just from eyeballing it in the photo, that it's 30, maybe right at 30 inches in height. That kind of like drop off, maybe a little bit more. Even if that,
I think it was less. It was less than 30.
You think it was less than 30? But yeah. I mean, if those steps are each 7 inches times 4.
The very bottom step was like 2 inches high.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was within code. For me, I mean, even if it's within the code standard of the requirement, that's a minimum. If this was my house, I'd want you to at least let me know about it, because a guardrail would be kind of nice right there.
It would be.
Somebody falling off of that, not realizing that that's a pretty significant drop off, could really get injured pretty bad, especially if they hit their head on the wall or on the ground or on that wrought iron fence there. So 30 inches, I guess it's good. And you can tell by counting the steps, and the steps are typically no more than 7 inches high, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What else? Am I missing something?
Well, you're not going to be able to tell by looking at the photo, but if you look now, what do you think about the grading here?
Oh, I guess it's hard to tell from the photo, but I mean, the water should drain down those steps and around the corner and down those other steps, but it doesn't slope away from the home there. So there should be in the corner area there on that kind of like as you walk down those 4 steps in that corner area, there should be a subsurface drain.
Correct. And there wasn't.
And there's not. Okay. So
in this next photo, you're actually going to see what's on the other side of this wall.
Oh, so water is just
pulling up in there. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It doesn't even look like it would be that big of a deal, but it's been going on for quite some time.
I wonder if it's coming from the yard underneath all of that and then into there. But, I mean, how high was that subfloor?
This is about probably like 5 feet high.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so that's so it's going a little bit below, a couple feet below that area that we were looking at. So, yeah, it definitely looks like water's coming through all those bricks and everything, and it's causing a big issue. I wonder if they hose it off like crazy. Maybe sprinklers hit in that area. Who knows? But wow, when was that photo taken?
Like last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
It hasn't rained in months.
No.
I mean, so okay.
I mean, Manhattan Beach, so
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, it should be dry.
yeah,
It should be dry
definitely.
under there.
I was surprised when I looked under there. I saw this much moisture.
Yeah. Wow. Good catch there, William.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to give the guys a break for a second to tell you something. If you want easy access to tons of interesting, useful, and unusual information like this, hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, give this video a thumbs up. Doing both goes a long way toward helping our channel grow and bringing you videos that are built different.
Same house,
Different house.
different house.
Yeah.
That block wall is definitely leaning. I mean, your photo doesn't even look level compared to that shed. That shed's roof looks like you're even tilting the camera to the right a little bit. If you square it up on the
Well, I
house,
was tilting it to the left.
you're tilting the camera to the left a little.
Yeah.
To make it look like it's okay. So
Yeah.
did you put your hand on it and try to move it? Did it move?
Oh yeah, like a few inches.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a significant repair there and a safety concern.
What are you thinking? They didn't use enough rebar. Didn't fill it full of concrete. Could be grading issues.
Hard to say. I mean, obviously the footing isn't. It's a really old block wall, I can tell you that. But the footing is not holding it up. I mean, it looks like hard to really say. I mean,
There's a pretty big gap there too.
water's getting in back behind there.
I know hydrostatic pressure, which is basically water sitting up against the wall, causes a lot of failure in block walls.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any trauma to it. Like nothing hit it.
No.
It looks like the lot to the right there is definitely a couple feet lower. So it's just maybe the ground moved, maybe an earthquake. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that shed back there. Grading grade drainage.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would fall essentially into the IRC 401.3 for grading. Supposed to slope away from the home. And I would not write that up if the roof to that shed sloped to the right.
Essentially, if it was attached and flashed correctly.
Right. Well, yeah, it would need to have something flashing it so water things couldn't get in between, or water wouldn't get in between there. But there is an overhang there, so it probably wouldn't be that much of a concern. But since it's going forward and backwards, yeah, you got to call it out. Shouldn't have sheds right next to the house like that anyway.
Yeah, we
Not
see it all
unless
the
it's
time.
attached, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like if you look to the right of it, you can see where the block wall is separating right there too.
Yep. I see the step crack. All right, so this is we're not getting a lot of consternation over these yet, but are you telling people yet?
Oh, I've been telling everybody.
Is anybody getting upset about it?
I think everyone kind of laughs at it. In my experience, everyone kind of laughs at it and makes a joke.
How many years?
Says it's ridiculous, but they get it.
How many years did they do the reporting on the deaths? Do you remember the number?
I don't know.
Was it 1 year? 10 people in 1 year died?
Was it 10 people in 1 year died?
I think something like that, or maybe 3 years.
I was just aware that there was thousands of injuries. I wasn't
Thousands
aware of any
injuries,
deaths.
and I think 10 deaths.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, no, this was allowed for the longest time. Not this exactly. It was actually required to be 12 inches below the countertop. But now you're not allowed to have it below the countertop at all.
Yeah.
And the only acceptable methods are going to be pop-up outlets.
Pop-up outlets, or what do they call the ones that are just like ugly and they stand on top?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that thing, but it's just like a metal.
Or if you have a stepped island like we do,
Right.
you're allowed to have it on the side there.
On the backsplash, kind of like to the side, right?
And for the purpose of this was so that kids don't pull hot pots or rice cookers by the cord
Right.
and it falls on them.
Yeah, you can't have a cord overhanging the counter edge and somebody grabbing it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of injuries.
Yep.
And it was required, which was just crazy.
No longer allowed.
No longer allowed. And it is now considered to be a safety concern
Yep.
if you have it, even though it was code when it was installed. So home inspectors, call it out every single time as a safety concern. Cover yourself.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? That looks like an exhaust vent for a furnace.
Yes.
Okay.
And a water heater.
Ooh. Okay, so what am I looking at? Is that a copper pipe going through it? Or is that behind it?
That's behind it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like,
That's the water supply line from the water heater.
oh, okay.
I don't know what they were thinking here. I think they made too many unnecessary turns because you could have one it should sweep into the vent pipe, but you could have just twisted it, got rid of all those turns, and angled it so you could have had a straight shot into it. But you're not allowed to have it come down,
Yeah.
downwards.
It's going up and it's like a really sharp bend and then slope downward. That was pretty easy one to identify.
Yeah.
Kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So I know what's going on there. That's crazy. What kind of exhaust hood is that?
I think it was a Wolf.
What?
Yeah.
So this thing is doing some serious, what would you call it? CFM?
Yeah, this was a luxury home that was flipped.
So it's taking a lot of volume of air off that stove cooktop and exhausting it outside. I mean, I wonder how many. I mean, it's a lot, right? Was
Yeah.
there two big fans up there? Or you think it was just one big motor, or were you able to see the motor?
It was two big fans.
There's two big fans
Yeah.
pushing it out that vent, and that is not it's gonna restrict all that air coming out.
Well, it's going to restrict it. And what I was more so concerned about was if you're cooking with like peanut oil,
Yeah, all the
you're going to destroy that overhang over
yeah,
time.
the grease is just gonna come out. Yeah, so it really shouldn't even be coming out underneath that overhang, huh? It should be going up through the roof
Yeah.
and then out and into the open air. So was this a flipped home? I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's typical flipper kind of a foul right there.
Yeah.
We'll call those flipper fouls.
Yeah, just send it straight out the sidewall.
Yeah, and
Flipper foul.
and
I
put
like
a
that.
furnace a rain cap on it. Yeah. So I mean, really, even if you were cool with it being under there, it should have like a hooded damper where the flap just opens up and there's no restriction to the exhaust coming out. And then when it closes, the flap comes back down. That's what should be on that.
Yeah.
But all the grease, everything. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
And it's all white and
Yeah,
not
that's-
for long.
That's gonna have a. They need to fix that. Back under the house. That is the main drain line for the house. And man, your flashlight's really bright in this photo, William.
Yeah, I got a pretty bright one.
But you can, I mean, is the ground wet?
Ground was wet.
Okay.
So you're looking at some microbial growth on the soil right there.
There's like crusty.
And the drain line's right there as well. And we all know pretty much it's mold, likes to grow in wet locations.
Okay.
And this is an indication that the buried line is leaking somewhere and water's saturating the soil right there, causing mold to start and build up.
And it looks like it's been excavated in the past. Doesn't look like it's ever been replaced, but either that or just the ground is settled there because it's been wet for so long.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty crazy. Wow. So we're looking at these things more and more and more and more. These drones are amazing. I love the fact that we have great drones and we can see all these components on the roof. Inspecting solar panels is beyond the scope of the inspection, but a good inspector you should add value to your report. Take a look at them and see if they're, were they broken, cracked? I mean, any defects here?
So I made note of how dirty the panels are.
Yeah. So what's the problem with them being so dirty?
Well, you want to keep them clean. I saw a statistic online stating essentially not cleaning your solar panels and having dirt and debris accumulate and build up on them. It can make them 30% less efficient, up to 30%.
Up to 30%.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Wow.
And they can also degrade faster and run into more issues in the future.
Also thinking about it, I mean, I can only imagine, like, how if you don't like clean your glass shower door, it gets all those water spots on it and like calcified water. Yeah, I get that would make sense now. Definitely. And these don't look like they're that old. I wonder, have you ever heard of any solar panel cleaning services?
No, I have not.
I bet that's a business we're probably going to start hearing about fairly soon. I'll come out, every month and clean your solar panels, or every, quarter and clean them up, or like right before summer and maybe midsummer. And yeah,
That'd be a good side hustle for someone.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how you do it.
Inspect for cracked tiles and clean the panels.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a great job. What would be really cool is if we had a thermal on our drone.
Yeah.
Basically take a look at these things.
Definitely. Well, the cool thing about some of the apps they have now, it tells you how efficient and how well the panels are running, how much power you're getting from them, and you'll be able to tell if you're getting less power over time. And I think that's what's supposed to alert people
Yeah.
that your panels aren't.
The efficiency is being affected by something, right?
Yeah.
So that should give you an indication, hey, let's get somebody out and clean these panels.
Yeah,
Or get your butt up there, some soap and water, and clean them up.
exactly.
So, okay. Very cool.
All right, that's all I have for you.
Well, that was fantastic. We didn't do a whole lot on this one, but man, I thought these were great photos to share. And we definitely need to get that new 2023 NEC with that outlet for the kitchen islands. I would like to be able to have that code book. But
Yeah, me too.
all right, William. Well, hey, thanks for coming in again, and we appreciate you watching our podcast. Please like the content, leave us your comments, and don't forget to click that subscribe button.